Imagine a country so small, you could drive across it in under an hour. No oil, no gold, not even enough land to grow its own food. Yet today, that tiny island, Singapore, stands as the richest country in all of Asia, outpacing giants like China, Japan, and South Korea. How did this miracle happen? How did a small fishing village turn into one of the wealthiest, safest, and cleanest nations on Earth, where the average person can live like royalty compared to many others in the region? This is not just a story about money. It's about vision, discipline, and leadership. It's about a people who refuse to be victims of their size or circumstances. Singapore didn't just rise, it engineered its rise. Through education, strategy, and an obsession with efficiency, this island built an economy that became the envy of the world. So sit back as we explore why Singapore is the richest country in Asia and what lessons the rest of the world can learn from this small but mighty nation. Part 1. The visionary who started it. Every success story begins with a dreamer who dares to believe when everyone else doubts. For Singapore, that dreamer was Lee Kuan Yew, a man whose determination and vision reshaped the destiny of an entire nation. When he became prime minister in 1965, Singapore had just separated from Malaysia and was left vulnerable, poor, and uncertain about its future. The country had no oil, no minerals, and hardly any land for farming. What it did have was a population of hardworking people, and Lee Kuan Yew knew that would be the nation's true wealth. At that time, unemployment was rampant. The streets were filled with slums, and clean water had to be imported from Malaysia. Many foreign observers predicted Singapore would collapse within a few years. But Lee Kuan Yew refused to accept failure. He envisioned a modern, self-reliant country built on education, discipline, and integrity. His mission was clear: turn a third-world island into a first-world economy within one generation, and he did. Education became the foundation. Schools were reformed to produce skilled, multilingual workers ready for global industries. English was introduced as the working language to bridge ethnic divisions and connect Singapore to international trade. Next came clean governance. Lee made corruption public enemy number one. He created strict laws, ensured high pay for civil servants to reduce temptation, and demanded honesty from all levels of government. Under his leadership, Singapore transformed into one of the most transparent administrations in the world. Finally, he opened the doors to foreign investment. Knowing Singapore lacked natural resources, Lee offered something else: stability and trust. He built modern ports, airports, and industrial zones, then invited global corporations to set up regional headquarters there. The world noticed. By the 1980s, Singapore had become a global hub for trade, finance, and technology. While other countries were bogged down by politics and corruption, Singapore was quietly mastering efficiency. Lee Kuan Yew didn't just lead Singapore, he engineered its destiny. Like a skilled captain steering a small ship through stormy seas, he charted a course so precise that decades later, Singapore still sails smoothly on the foundation he built. Part 2. Location, the secret superpower. If you open a map and trace the blue lines of the world's trade routes, you'll notice one glowing crossroads: Singapore. Nestled at the tip of the Malay Peninsula, this tiny island nation sits beside the Strait of Malacca, a maritime highway linking the Pacific and Indian Oceans. It's one of the busiest and most strategic waterways on Earth. More than 40% of global trade flows through it, carrying oil from the Middle East, electronics from China, and manufactured goods to Europe and America. But geography alone doesn't create prosperity. Many nations enjoy good locations, yet remain poor. What made Singapore stand out was how it harnessed its geography with intelligence and precision. From the start, the government treated its position not as luck, but as a national asset, something to be cultivated, modernized, and monetized. The result was the Port of Singapore, one of the largest and most advanced in the world. Operating 24/7, it handles millions of containers every year, and its efficiency is legendary. Using cutting-edge robotics, automated cranes, and digital logistics systems, ships are unloaded and reloaded faster than almost anywhere else. Red tape is minimal, corruption is almost non-existent, and operations are so smooth that many shipping companies choose Singapore over cheaper ports simply for reliability. But the magic didn't stop at sea. Singapore's leaders saw that trade flows not just by ships, but by people, capital, and ideas. So they built an aviation hub to match. The world-famous Changi Airport connects travelers to more than 100 countries and has repeatedly been named the best airport globally, offering not just flights but efficiency, safety, and a touch of luxury. Together, the port and airport turned Singapore into a global crossroads, a place where goods, money, and talent meet. Its financial district soon filled with multinational banks and trading firms that saw Singapore as the perfect bridge between East and West. This ability to transform location into opportunity became Singapore's secret superpower. It took a simple geographic advantage and turned it into an unstoppable economic engine, proving that success isn't just about where you are, but how wisely you use where you are. Part 3. Discipline, Cleanliness, and Order. When visitors first arrive in Singapore, they're often struck by how spotless and organized everything feels. The streets are clean, the public transport is punctual, and even the parks seem perfectly maintained. It's a level of order that feels almost unreal to anyone coming from a busier, more chaotic city. But in Singapore, this isn't coincidence or luck, it's intentional design. From the very beginning, the government understood that a nation's environment reflects its people's mindset. Clean surroundings create disciplined citizens, and discipline in turn builds prosperity. So, Singapore established some of the world's strictest public laws. No littering, no vandalism, no spitting, and yes, even a famous ban on chewing gum. To outsiders, it might seem excessive, but for Singaporeans, it became a shared culture of respect for public spaces. This mindset of order goes far beyond cleanliness. It extends into every layer of society. Civil servants are trained to be efficient and transparent, with corruption met by swift, severe consequences. Public transport runs like clockwork. Trains arrive almost to the minute. Tax systems are streamlined so citizens can pay with ease and confidence. Even public housing is managed with military precision. Through the Housing and Development Board, HDB, nearly 80% of citizens own their homes, creating social stability and pride in ownership. Such organization breeds trust. Investors know that in Singapore, systems work, contracts are honored, and laws are enforced fairly. The country consistently ranks among the least corrupt nations in the world, competing with places like Switzerland and Denmark. That trust draws in businesses, entrepreneurs, and global capital because investors prefer reliability over chaos. The result is a society where crime is exceptionally low, streets are safe for children, and efficiency is a national virtue. Singapore's people understand that discipline isn't about control, it's about creating freedom through structure, and in that structure lies strength. By keeping the nation clean, efficient, and corruption-free, Singapore proved that discipline is destiny. It turned a small island into a global model of order and success, showing that when a nation chooses responsibility over disorder, it doesn't just become cleaner, it becomes unstoppable. Part 4. The Education That Built a Nation. Singapore's rise didn't begin with skyscrapers or factories. It began with schools. The country understood early on that the most powerful resource a small island could ever possess was not land or oil, but human intelligence. So instead of digging for minerals, Singapore began shaping minds. After independence, Lee Kuan Yew's government made education the cornerstone of national progress. Every child, regardless of background, had access to schooling. The goal wasn't just literacy, it was to cultivate discipline, excellence, and critical thinking. Lessons were designed to build not just knowledge, but also character. From kindergarten to university, students learned punctuality, teamwork, and respect for hard work, values that later defined the nation's workforce. Over time, this investment paid off. Singaporean students consistently ranked among the top in the world in mathematics, science, and reading. But the government didn't stop there. Education wasn't just about exams. It was about creating adaptable thinkers ready for a changing world. By the 1980s, Singapore began transforming its economy from one dependent on manual labor to one powered by innovation and knowledge. The vision was bold. Move from manufacturing cheap goods to producing high-value ideas. That meant teaching creativity alongside precision and building universities and polytechnics that work directly with industries. The result was a seamless bridge between classrooms and companies. Students weren't just learning theory, they were learning what the future demanded. As global giants like Microsoft, Google, and Dyson set up research centers in Singapore, they found a population already equipped with skills to drive innovation. Today, education continues to evolve. Schools integrate technology, coding, and entrepreneurship from early stages. Adults are encouraged to keep learning through lifelong education programs. Singapore's government even funds skill upgrading courses so that no one is left behind in a fast-moving digital world. This dedication has made Singapore's workforce one of the most skilled and competitive on the planet. The nation proves that prosperity is not built on luck or location, but on learning, effort, and intellect. Singapore didn't just build classrooms, it built confidence, competence, and character. And in doing so, it created a society where every educated mind became a building block in the nation's incredible rise. Part 5. Taxes, Trade, and Trust. The economic engine behind Singapore's glittering skyline lies an engine built on three timeless principles: low taxes, high trust, and open trade. Together, they power one of the most efficient and resilient economies in the world. From the beginning, Singapore's leaders understood that to attract investors, they needed to offer something irresistible: stability and simplicity. So they designed a tax system that rewards business, not bureaucracy. Corporate tax rates hover around 17%, far below those of many developed nations. This makes Singapore a magnet for global companies seeking both profit and predictability. But the magic doesn't come from low tax alone. It comes from trust. Singapore built its reputation on fairness, transparency, and the rule of law. Contracts are enforced, bribes are punished, rules don't change overnight. Companies know that when they invest here, their money is safe, their data is secure, and their agreements will be honored. This trust has drawn some of the biggest names in banking, technology, and manufacturing, transforming Singapore into Asia's financial heartbeat. During the 2008 global financial crisis, while many economies crumbled, Singapore remained steady. The government's strong reserves and cautious fiscal planning acted like a financial shield. And when the COVID-19 pandemic struck, Singapore's quick, data-driven response helped it recover faster than many others. Even in global turbulence, the Singapore dollar stayed strong, symbolizing the world's confidence in its economy. Trade, too, is a pillar of this success. Singapore has signed free trade agreements with over 25 major economies, including the United States, China, India, and the European Union. Its ports and airports move not only goods, but also ideas and investments, connecting over 600 cities worldwide. This open-door policy allows Singapore to thrive even when global trends shift, because it's never dependent on just one partner or one industry. All these factors create an unstoppable loop. Low taxes attract business, trust keeps them invested, and trade connects them to the world. It's a system that doesn't rely on luck or size. It relies on strategy and integrity. Singapore's economic model proves that when a nation builds trust as its currency, its wealth will multiply. And that's why this small island's economy runs like a perfectly tuned engine: quiet, steady, and unstoppable. Part 6. Innovation and the Digital Future. Singapore's story doesn't end with prosperity. It evolves with innovation. Having mastered trade, finance, and governance, the nation is now rewriting its future in digital ink. In an era where data drives power, Singapore stands among the most technologically advanced societies on Earth, boasting near 100% internet connectivity and some of the fastest broadband speeds in the world. But technology here isn't just for convenience. It's a national strategy. Singapore's government launched the bold initiative known as the Smart Nation Program, a blueprint to fuse technology with everyday life. Under this vision, almost every aspect of the city operates with intelligence and precision. Payments are cashless, transportation is automated, and even streetlights adjust brightness based on pedestrian movement. Sensors monitor traffic, air quality, and water use, while digital IDs make government services accessible with a single click. Artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and green energy are Singapore's next big frontiers. The government actively funds startups and research through agencies like Enterprise Singapore and A-Star, helping young entrepreneurs turn ideas into scalable businesses. Innovation districts such as One North serve as creative ecosystems where scientists, engineers, and global corporations collaborate side by side. But what truly sets Singapore apart is its ability to plan decades ahead. While other countries struggle to adapt to technological disruption, Singapore prepares before the storm hits. Its leaders anticipate global shifts, from automation to aging populations, and invest early to cushion their impact. Take healthcare, for example. The nation integrates digital health records, telemedicine, and AI diagnostics to create efficient, accessible medical systems. For seniors, smart homes with motion sensors and voice-assisted devices ensure safety and independence. Even waste management and cleaning now rely on robotics and AI-driven logistics. Singapore's digital transformation is about more than technology. It's about resilience and foresight. Every new policy, innovation hub, and tech partnership is part of a long-term vision to stay ahead in a world that never stops changing. In Singapore, the future doesn't arrive by surprise. It's built with intention. And through its relentless drive to innovate, this small island continues to prove that progress isn't about size or luck. It's about the courage to adapt, evolve, and lead in the age of intelligence. Part 7. The Human Side of Wealth. Behind Singapore's towering skyline and world-class economy lies the true heartbeat of its success, its people. The nation's prosperity isn't just measured in GDP or global rankings, but in the quality of life enjoyed by its citizens. Singapore understands that real wealth is not about how much money you make, but how well you live. With a life expectancy of over 83 years, Singaporeans enjoy some of the best healthcare and living standards in the world. The city is so safe that children can walk to school alone, and seniors can take late-night strolls without fear. Hospitals are clean, efficient, and equipped with advanced technology, while public clinics ensure that even basic healthcare is affordable for all. Education remains top-tier, opening doors for every generation to climb higher than the last. But perhaps Singapore's greatest achievement is social harmony. Despite being one of the most diverse nations in Asia, with Chinese, Malays, Indians, and Eurasians living together, racial tension is rare. Instead, multiculturalism is woven into daily life, from shared public housing to festivals that celebrate every culture and faith. The result is a society where people see themselves not as divided by race or religion, but united as Singaporeans. This unity gives the nation its strength. It creates a sense of belonging and collective pride, values that can't be measured in numbers. Yet Singapore's leaders are honest about the challenges. The cost of living is high, space is limited, and competition can be intense. But what makes the difference is trust. Most citizens believe their government works for the common good. They see results, efficient transport, safe streets, and fair opportunities, and that trust becomes the glue that holds the nation together. Singapore's story reminds the world that prosperity isn't just about skyscrapers or technology. It's about security, dignity, and hope. When people feel safe, respected, and optimistic about tomorrow, that's when a nation is truly rich. So yes, Singapore has the money, the technology, and the power, but its real success lies in something deeper, a shared belief that progress should serve the people, not the other way around, and that more than anything is the human side of Singapore's wealth. Conclusion: the island that proved size doesn't matter. So, why is Singapore the richest country in Asia? Because it mastered the art of turning limitations into leverage. What it lacked in land, it replaced with innovation. What it lacked in natural resources, it made up for through education, foresight, and discipline. And what it lacked in size, it balanced with efficiency, unity, and intelligence. Singapore didn't wait for opportunities. It created them. When others saw obstacles, it saw chances to reinvent itself. From a swampy trading post to a global financial powerhouse, the nation's rise wasn't accidental. It was engineered through vision, planning, and hard work. It built upward when there was no room to expand outward. It turned a small population into one of the world's most skilled workforces, and it faced every challenge, economic, political, and environmental, with quiet confidence instead of complaints. Today, Singapore stands as a model for nations and individuals alike. It shows that greatness has nothing to do with geography or luck. It comes from mindset and discipline. Where others talk endlessly about potential, Singapore simply performs. Where others promise change, Singapore delivers it. And while others dream of success, Singapore builds it, brick by brick, with precision and pride. In a world where global powers rise and fall with time, Singapore remains steady, proving that true strength is not about being the biggest player, but the most prepared one. This island nation teaches a timeless lesson. You don't need vast land or endless resources to prosper. You need vision, courage, and a plan that looks beyond today. Singapore may be small on the map, but in the story of human progress, it shines as a giant of wisdom, discipline, and willpower. The island that proves size doesn't matter.